how would you describe sort of the last 48 hours? Kind of like it feels like the last dagger, but they aren't going down without swinging. They're fighting. It's not good enough to close these games out.
Yeah, it's crazy because as hard as it is to believe, I think this is the best they've looked,
Right.
With the exception of the bullpen. I mean, the lineup's been great. The starting pitching is, for the most part hung in there, and it's just absolutely in keeping with this season that once it finally came together, the bullpen is, the one thing that wasn't supposed to be the problem this year is falling apart. So it's just, you kind of just throw your hands in the air and say, what more can you do? It's just that kind of year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to tell you. I mean, you follow this team, you know it better than any of us. But in August, Daniel Murphy's hitting 356. Bryce Doan's hitting 318. Zimmerman's hitting 3. Matt Wieters is hitting 281. Wilmer Defoe's hitting 3. It's not the lineup anymore. That's for sure.
No, it's not. And you can look at it and say, well, clearly they're not scoring enough to win, but they are. They're giving leads. They're getting leads late, and I think that's why obviously this is so devastating for them. Is okay, like all this stuff that's been going wrong all season is finally going right, and it's still not happening. And I think it's sort of like you see every flash of every unit on this team, now and then, and you say, wow, if they can only put it all together, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to get put all together.
Chelsea, yesterday we spent a little time with our callers talking about who do you blame with this bad bullpen. Rizzo traded away or let a couple guys go, whether it was Kelly or Kinsler. The manager doesn't know that one of his players has a bad back and some pain, can't control the ball. So it almost seems like everybody's culpable. And then, of course, the players for letting them down.
Yeah, to me, it's everything. A season like this doesn't happen because one guy is having a bad year or missed one decision. I think the narrative flip on Sean Kelly suddenly being, the one that got away is absolutely stunning to me when I read what fans have to say. I mean, that is just, it's like the Dusty thing. It's like everybody wanted Dusty gone last year, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, he's the savior. It's like, pick one. You can't have but I just don't think like this happens for one reason. And it's sort of like 2015, Matt Williams bore the brunt of that. And I think, played a role, but, there were contract guys underperforming. There were an absurd number of injuries, very much like this year. Rizzo obviously traded away some guys that would have helped. So there's that, and ownership deciding whatever they decided at the deadline. It's just, you can go up and down the line of things that aren't happening, and yet they are this close to beating the Cubs in 3 games, 3-game series, and this close to taking the first one against the Cardinals. And at some point, you got to look at the players and say, you're the ones throwing the baseball, you're the ones, missing your spots or making bad decisions. And I think there's a little bit less of that than maybe there should be here.